Evening, everybody. What's up? Let me go ahead and let everybody know that I am live one more time. Let's start the TikTok stream. One second. Dang, thunderstorms. Alrighty, everybody. Just getting that TikTok stream set up. All right. Well, I am not going to delay for too much longer. There is a storm passing over me that I can't predict the weather, so but it's pretty intense, so I don't want to be on the computer for too long. But I'm gonna go really quickly. I'm gonna recap today's news, and then I'm gonna go over the entirety of the Facebook trade. And I guess we can kind of I'm gonna touch on basically how I got the targets that I had, why I took the calls today, why I took the rejection today, and where I got my price targets from. So, um, I will go. I will be taking requests. Those of you guys on TikTok, I will be taking requests uh, after I get done with these headlines and stuff. So if you guys want to hop over to TikTok or excuse me, YouTube and leave your request there. But if you guys are on TikTok, make sure to tap that screen and leave a like if you guys don't mind. But anyway, so today, and we are getting closer and closer, nearing into Ellie's prediction for this week being correct. But we saw the S&P down 1.08%, the Nasdaq 0.73%, the Russell 1.49%, and the Dow Jones down 0.81%. So 1 out of 11 sectors closed green, with real estate negative 2.4%, materials down 2% as well. But we did see, and I just want to congratulate Top Shelf in our Discord. If you guys aren't in our Discord, obviously it's not just me in there. We have Top Shelf. He's been one of my mentors. We've been friends for a while. He's one of the admins, owners in the chat, and he signaled Baba and Exxon and VLO, a couple of other oil stocks. But his Baba, we saw Chinese internet stocks moving up about 14%. He was up 1,600% on the call that he signaled in his swing trades channel. So just one of many insane swing trades that Top Shelf. I mean, God forbid this guy ever gets a social media, because at that point, people having the secret sauce put everybody out of business. But anyway, yeah, absolutely phenomenal trades from him. But anyway, we saw the majority of the stock market down after an early morning push to the upside. We after and this is at dude, please don't spam the chat, my guy. I'll probably not do PayPal if you keep doing that. Um, so really quickly, I want to recap today's trade on Facebook, because it was again, I think we're no 15 out of 17 for the trades that we've taken on Facebook this week, and I have made my weekly goal 2 times in this single trading session for Facebook. But I'm going to explain to you guys why I have taken the trades that I have and why I've been so accurate as far as price targets, bounce levels, and entries, exits, etc., etc. So just to start off today's trade, and it was really simple for me. Yesterday, we were too close to support, and the price action was too low. But we had a better entry today, and so simply setting up with a triangle right here, we entered around 195.75. using next week's contracts, adding some weeklies to sweeten the deal, aiming for this gap. Okay, so a lot of the times, and I wish that TikTok, if you guys want to see this screen better, and I apologize, but it's going to be on YouTube. That's going to be where you're going to be able to see this just a little bit better. But just I'll zoom out just for now. So uh, this gap, okay, and this was the reasoning behind me picking. And I've explained multiple times, and that gaps are targets. Gaps get filled. Not it's a high likelihood that a gap will get filled. So this gap was the target today, especially for those shorter expiration contracts. But if you step out, all right, you'll start to see the structure that we've been trading in. So starting from these lows and running down, you see a significant bounce here on June 1st, and then another one on June 6th. This establishes a strong trend line here, well recognizable. Secondly, we have multiple rejections. This is our first one, second one, and then today. And again, this is where I do charting. You could even just say speculatively, but oftentimes when I go down to these lower time frames, the more or the clearer they become. You get one, two, and then finally three taps off of one single trend line, and this is that same rejection point and the start of the pullback before the gap down. So this opens up what you could call the mouth or the base of this pattern itself. TikTok, I don't know if you guys hear this. Do you guys hear this storm right now? This shit is going ham. I'm in danger. That tree above me is looking a little bit weak. So anyway, stay focused. So anyway, today's trade, being able to recognize the structure that we were trading in. Initially, if you guys remember, and I'm going to recap really quick that the trades, especially for TikTok, because they weren't here for the entirety of them. But we took this initial gap trade here, right? And I had already, based on this low, and I hate that TikTok can't see all of this, but this low right here. So 1, 2, right? So, oh, excuse me, I'm zoomed in too far. So 1, 2, this creates our support line. So for me, recognizing that falling wedge, so if we step down to the 5-minute, this is that support line right here. And taking this falling wedge to the downside, we saw that falling wedge. We ended up taking calls to the upside. So we shorted it here, took profit here, and then took calls to the upside. I TP'd right before it hit the gap, and then we consolidated. So this essentially, and what I'm explaining is that as every day passes, you should be updating your chart. You should be looking out on that 4-hour time frame, that daily time frame, especially if you're getting a fresh look at a stock that you haven't seen before. You need to be moving down, and oftentimes, if I've never charted it before, I'll start as far as the monthly is concerned, because the monthly is going to give me the structure, right? So let me explain a little bit deeper. So we see this pattern on the hourly, which is recognizable on the 2-hour and the 4-hour, right, as a bearish continuation pattern. If I zoom in, right, and now that I see that that's that hourly and higher time frame setup, I can also move here, right, and see that we have a well-established channel moving to the upside, which if I'm playing a support bounce, which we most definitely got, right? A huge bounce off support, which we played, because we've played Facebook. Hey, Pot, did you get to work and trade before? Yes, I did work and trade. And by the way, if you guys are on TikTok here, you can literally go to the Discord and see all of the signals. I've been signaling Facebook for free through the last week, and I don't think that I've seen a lot of people following the trades, but I don't think a lot of people see that I'm signaling there. But anyway, so this channel, right, as you move in, you look for those lower time frame setups. And this allowed me, and I'm telling you guys, it's not as simple as this, but once you find the setup, it's just a matter of, and again, we've talked about the time frame relevance. If I'm watching a setup on the 15 and I know that I'm trading within a hourly or 4 hour pattern, then maybe my contracts need to be out till next week. And then, like we did multiple times, multiple times on Facebook, we used weeklies to essentially sweep. Did you roll Facebook today? I'm out to a 180.85. Um, Yeah, we have 185 puts that we took at the top around, I think right before, not I think, but right before it broke $200. And then we added and we scalped Facebook to the upside. Today, so this makes the third time that I've in one day played Facebook both to the up and the downside. And if you traded weeklies, both all of those were 100%. So, um, but anyway, so this channel here is broken. So going into tomorrow for Facebook, I am speculating that we should move down and we have this channel broken. So I'm thinking that we should move down to around the 194.15 level. Now, after that's done, and again, TikTok, I really wish you guys could see better, but this is the best I got right now until my stands come in the mail. Your Facebook calls were fire this week. I mean, just execution wise, I mean, you got to be proud of the stuff that you do. But this week was one of those weeks where I look back at all of those weeks that I struggled to recognize, like I struggled with pattern recognition. I struggled with price action. And more importantly, I struggled with emotions. But I can tell, and most of the people who traded with me can tell you. I mean, not only am I mean, I am able to talk down my emotions and truly not look at my contracts because I know that whatever I'm in, I'm within my risk, right? If you're staring at your contracts, you're scared, and I don't trade with fear. I trade with just an open mind. I'm willing to take it all up, down. I don't care which way the stock market goes. I don't. If it goes up, if it goes down, if it goes, I mean, I don't like when it drops, but essentially, I'm trying to make it as technical and logical, step by step as I can, so that way there is no room for error. And by error, I mean there is no room for watching contracts expire worthless. If you're still letting contracts expire worthless, which it happens from time to time, but if it's part of your weekly regimen, yeah, you got some restructuring to do. Um, for sure. What did you make today? Um, well, I'll put it this way. My daily goal is 1,500 bucks, and I've made my weekly goal two times in 1 week so far. So, um, so basically suggesting to find patterns on the patterns. No, what I'm essentially saying is you're looking for structure or trend because there is if you see something on the five, right? Okay, so let's before I go any further, let's go look at Facebook really quick today. So look, okay, we're well aware of where resistance is. It was around 202, which is a gap fill to the upside, also resistance and also a key level. That's a major confluence. Now, if I am aware that that's where I'm trading up to, which you should be, and I am when I take these positions, right? If that's the case, then you should be looking for signs of weakness. And you guys can go in the Discord right now and literally go and see where I signaled these because they were damn near on the money at the top, at the bottom, like as far as like calls were concerned, and then tops, the top. It was again. what are those days you're grateful for all of those shitty days, and all of that hard work that you put in. But this rising wedge moving up to resistance, that's enough for me. I don't like at some point you're a trader who waits for the play to already happen and then get in and hope for the extras, or you're a trader who gets in when they see it. Because here's how simple it is for me, guys. It's this simple. Where people may, okay, so this candle right here, and I'm going to explain this and I'm trying to zoom in so everybody can see really well. Um, there we go. So for me, right, I'm breaking this down, right, piece by piece. This is my resistance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's enough. That shows me that $200.50, which is also what? A psychological number. So if that's my resistance up at the top and I break that, so that's my ceiling. I break above that. I'm doing so and then immediately seeing weakness, right? So as soon as I move and I hit that key level, I'm immediately seeing that sellers are taking over and buyers are being pushed down. And you can see that volume start to dissipate. But most importantly is the key levels here, right? So that $200.50 that we broke above, we all of a sudden are going back to what? Retest. And it's called a retest for a reason, because if you fail that test, you flunk and you fall. And so at this point, right, $200.50 gets broken. So what was our ceiling became our floor, has now become our ceiling again. And so once I lose that level, so think of that like an auction, okay? If this is where the auction and buyers accepted it here, and then the price and popularity went down, and then all of a sudden, and again, look at this wick. Look at this 5 minute wick. It goes back up just to make sure and retest it one more time, and then you move back down, consolidate, and fall. Which, if you were in the Discord with us today, you traded this with me, and I signaled every single one of these in live trading and in the PotterStocks channel, and I tried to reassure people, stay calm and just use your stop losses. So if I enter here, it is really simple for me, right? If I'm entering at this key level break, that's and we move down, that's my stop loss, right? Because we break back above it, that means buyers accepted that level and it's going to go back up, right? Because we ping pong from resistance to support. So it's simple. The chart tells me where to set stop losses. I don't just make them up based on a percentage amount in my account. I'm not, that's why legging in is so important to me, and why setting up spreads is so important to me, because it negates emotional conflicts, but it also allows me to stay steadfast during retest, which again, we saw multiple times today. Will you be live on TikTok tomorrow? Yes. So again, and if you guys are on TikTok with me and you guys are enjoying this or learning anything, make sure to tap the screen as many times as you can. I really appreciate it, and I hope other people. It's always a little bit disappointing. TikTok streams went up, our YouTube streams went up, but whenever I go into breakdowns and stuff like that, that's usually when the views leave. But that's okay, because it's the people who are here are the people who probably really want to learn. 199.69, right? So we consolidate there. At this point, I had signaled for people to go ahead and add. I had signaled for a 185 June 24th put on Facebook. Can I chart Tesla? Yes. Do we draw trend lines over wicks or candles? So I like to respect wicks. I do. I believe. I mean, especially the higher the time frame, the more relevant that can become. Um, and usually the data is consolidated enough where those bodies, or those wicks, and bodies will show those key levels. But there's also something called seeing through the noise. So a lot of the times, right, fake outs occur, and where this is the actual trend line, fake outs occur a lot. and you have to be kind of aware of whether or not, and I don't have a good example right now, and I don't want to move from this chart. But there are examples where sometimes you'll move through a wick, and what you're looking for is multiple taps off of a specific level or a specific resistance. Body candle closes matter as well. So, what ribbon is that? That is the whole ribbon indicator. Your breakdowns are more educational. They are teaching moments at their best. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. And ask me questions right now, because this is literally, I did it today. I've done it multiple times throughout this week. And I think the lesson here is one, I stuck to one stock. I didn't, you know what? For all those people asking me, how do I know? Or which ones do I pick? I don't have that worry, right? I haven't had that worry in a minute, and in a week. I also don't usually have that worry, period, because I just go where the money is. That's it. It's like an Indian, or Native American. Excuse me, no disrespect, but you follow the buffalo. They follow the. In this case, we're just watching where the money goes and following in that direction. And so for me, is Facebook a popular company? Yes. Is it volatile? Yes. Does it have high volume? Yes. Do they get bad news sometimes? Yes. Good news? Yes. Does the stock react to those? Clearly, yes. We made what was it? 2 weeks ago. We had a hedge we were in calls, and we took a hedge, and then bad news came out, and the hedge ended up paying us more than the calls ever would. And so it was just a beautiful time to be prepared. But again, if you know that money is in the stock, right? If you're asking me about Sundial, yeah, come on. There's no money there. But if you're asking me about, and I would even say Bank of America and American Airlines, those aren't super profitable trading. I'm just charting this just out of boredom, not out of boredom, but just sorry, don't ignore that. Time frame, all go down, stellar dogged. What the hell does that even mean? The ribbon is called whole ribbon indicator. Nobody loves me for me. They just love my ribbon. What did you use as your stop loss on the original entry? Yes. So 1 second, I'll let me read I feel like I want to get back in the paid Discord, but I left last time because I felt group trading wasn't for me. Now I feel like I know enough to function better. Christian, well, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to get you to pay, because there's no. I mean, if that's entirely up to you. And again, that's a decision that if you want to, we have a trial still, so you can still check it out. And some people, yes, we always recommend that if you come into the chat and you don't feel like you're ready for it, or you're not understanding what's going on, then we don't want your money. We don't want you to spend your money. We want you to save your money and your time and invest into educating yourself, trading on your own, taking setups, paper trading, running a small account, whatever those things that you're doing to build it. So, that's entirely up to you, man. Where's the money? What's the best way to figure out resistance and support levels? You're looking for respect, right? So look at this. The first place that we bounce, boing. The first place that we reject heavy and dump, boing. I'm looking now for my next big bounce, boing, right here. And now I've made a support line. I'm looking for my next big rejection. Now I have my resistance line. So I could expect for Tesla, right? Or excuse me, Facebook, anywhere above this yellow line or a break in trend to possibly go to the upside. Or if you hit support and you move to the downside, so watch tomorrow, write this number down, because PotterStocks called it 195.25, maybe even a little bit lower, maybe 195 even, but that's likely where you'll see your first bounce. And because we do not have another tap of resistance, if we fall first, you will get more than likely one more bounce up to 196, which will give us a great possible entry to short this down to the 190s. So just watch natural gas; it's going down big. No thanks, man. I appreciate the offer, but I don't trade natural gas. I make a butt ton of money jumping Mark Zuckerberg. So that's my pastime. I enjoy it. Well, Christian, I mean, I'd say give it a shot, and if you don't like it, dude, then make a decision. But if sounds like you already know. Yeah, whole suite ribbon indicator by InSilico. Okay, InSilico. Google it; it'll pop right up. Okay, so what did you use as your stop loss in my original entry? So are you talking? So be more specific on that one. Are you talking about the calls? Because we took Facebook from let's see, we entered here, and I know it seems like I'm making up these entries, but everybody was live, so you guys know that we literally got into Facebook before the noise. So we got in right about there, and then we filled this gap. This was a good TP place, a good add, or if you had any runners. And then most of my contracts to the upside were out around here, which was the secondary gap. So thank you for what you're doing. Been a follower for 20 plus years. Even named my stepkid after you. Dang, that's cool. You got to rename your stepkid. Ticker change, momentum. What kind of service do you offer? What is the platform? It's Discord. Yeah, I'm not. I don't like to explain the Discord while I'm on TikTok. I'm not here to advertise at the moment. This is just educational. Just ask questions. Yeah. Uh, I dumped the weeklies for break even, then it dumped even more. Talking about the puts at the end of the day. Oh, wait, are you talking about the weeklies? My stop loss was right here. If you're talking about the second, so the first time it dumped here and I cut them, right? That second bounce, I cut right there. And then I'm not sure exactly which one you're referring to though. What do I see? Yes. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube right now. You can hit the link in my bio, go on YouTube Live. I'm answering all the questions in there. It's just so hard to see everybody's requests and everything. Hold on one second. Do you use more supply zones or support and resistance lines? Listen, I think this is a good question. I use all of it. I use key levels. I use dynamic trend line setups. I use supply and demand. I do not exclude things that are clearly, important. That's just not good trading. I think that's one thing, a misconception too, is like not even a misconception, but it's like, you have to pick a strategy, but like that putting together a plan or how you understand price action is again unique to you. So for me, I tell people learn about supply and demand, learn about dynamic charting, and learn about key levels, et cetera, et cetera. Also, when you're trying to run contractors, I play contractors every night, dude. You aren't ready for the smoke though. All right. Well, that's enough of Facebook. We're gonna beat the dog shit out of it tomorrow, as per usual. I'm just kidding. Listen, I am next week going to be. Actually no. I guess. Yeah. No. So the week after this next week, I I will be in Universal Studios and taking a break because I've been knocking Facebook out of the park for really about 3 weeks, and I feel like I would like to step off of my high horse and not get knocked down, which inevitably happens anytime you're at your high point. That's when you're blinded by something or you get a shift in strategy. So I feel like me taking a break is going to be a great thing. I've already booked the vacation and everything. So why is everything red? Because Ellie said it would be. What are you talking about, dude? She gave the analysis. Accept the friend request. All right, I will. Okay. All right. So what do we got? Let's take some chart requests before my house gets blown down. Tesla. Biden is destroying America. That's why. No. I really wish people would remember all of the money printing and the billionaires that were made during America's giant crisis. I just don't know why people wouldn't expect for that house of cards to come toppling down. You know what I mean? Like when I think it was just convenient. We have somebody to blame, but I mean that's just how politics work. Though they need somebody when really I would say that Biden's responsible for very little. He can hardly remember what's going on. Again, I still to this day believe presidents are just spokespeople, but yeah, I find it illogical to think that one individual is destroying America. I find it far more logical to hold the people like greedy CEOs that own oil companies, et cetera, accountable, or the Fed who decided to print and devalue our currency in a time of crisis to basically make rich people far richer and everybody else struggle a whole lot more. And then expect for that, and then take profit and call their so-called buying of the dip that they then inflated with that Fed money immoral, and then leaving the stock market to spiral to the downside. So, sorry, I coughed. Excuse me. But anyway, no, I think it's illogical to say that any one person destroys America. I think there's a lot of individuals responsible for the demise of America, and I think that when we put one person in our targets, that's just because we need a point to argue over. Everybody just needs like what, but because like it's far deeper than that. It can't be simplified into one person. So anyway, so Tesla right now 1 hour megaphone looks like on the hourly, and I still think that we're going to see some dumps. So watch for Tesla to possibly hit that 685 tomorrow. Excuse my rant. I'm sorry. All right, all right. Cut off the Democrat, or cut the political shit immediately. Thank you. Yeah, we're not. I was just. I'm trying to state what I was just saying is I'm not political. That was what I was just. That was what I was trying to say. I guess I should have just said that. I don't believe. I don't do the political arguing or blaming or anything like that. I just don't engage in anything that's going to cause me to argue with my fellow American, because that's treason. All right, so I'm sorry, guys. I feel a little sassy. Tesla is, and I see multiple different setups here. So we have a confluence. We've got a point of control at 710. So I've got two scenarios for you tomorrow. You hit this 710, and this would be your third bounce off support. And I'm not sure what futures are doing at the moment. So, of course, where we gap down to. But if we do fall, watch for Tesla to pull back to, and look at this key level, guys. So I'm gonna show you guys the setup and tell you how I'll trade this, depending obviously on the price action. But Tesla earnings will not be good. Whoa, whoa, Uh, damn. Well, if anybody on if anybody needs anything, I guess, you know. Damn, dude. We got spammer in the chat, bro. Oh my god. No, megaphones can be bullish or bearish, and I really think that's a 5 minute megaphone that's ultimately going to lead you down. It has the same support, so I try not to confuse people, and I try to explain what I'm seeing, but sometimes what I'm seeing is just kind of confusing and hard to explain. So especially for newer traders or anybody like that, it can be difficult to explain. So just to move this out back into free space on the hourly, right? This could be recognized as a megaphone, okay? And again, one plays into another. So please, if you there's no I feel like I feel like I shouldn't even explain this, but so you'll see support is right here. You can drag that back. All right. So this tells me that that's where my support is. I also don't put it outside, right? I also know that if there's a 5 minute or a 15 minute setup, that it's going to play into the higher time frame setup. So on the 2 hour or even the 4 hour, right? This could be recognized as a falling wedge. But in order to make the falling wedge happen, there's got to be some type of lower time frames. It's like dominoes. So tomorrow, and we also have a confluence. Look at 710. Look at that. Look at that level. Oh my God. Hold on real quick. So watch 710 if we do pullback. Otherwise, any wick fill to the upside would still set Tesla up for an inverse head and shoulders. But if you move below 710, obviously you have 700 bucks. But ultimately, you would pull back, and I think that you would likely go for around 680, which would complete this falling wedge and also complete this megaphone pattern. But again, patterns are only patterns, and key levels are key for a reason. So oftentimes when I'm charting or I see all of these crazy setups, I take them with a grain of salt. Okay, I'm not every single one of them means the world to me. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of the times they need adjustment or they're wrong, and that happens all the time to me. I can tell you guys right now that the majority of my trading or the majority of my pattern recognition skills came from doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Have you been trading Tesla? No, I've literally traded only Facebook. So a megaphone pattern can play out one of two ways, right? Usually a megaphone pattern like this can be bilateral. So you can see a crazy reversal. So that's what I'm trying to say right now. So megaphones in their nature are extremely volatile and honestly hard to track. So if this is a megaphone pattern, right? And we pull back and hit that 675 or 680, which is a big support level there. And also this wick over here, which is basically like the inverse head and shoulders setup that I've been talking about. Then guess what? We have 1, 2, right? And so you could see Tesla move all the way back up and hit 755. And that's valid because guess what? Take the megaphone pattern away, and what do you have? Just a simple falling wedge, right? So you don't need to know about this megaphone pattern, but you do need to know about a rejection. But for me, if I can recognize a bearish pattern or a pattern like that on the 5 or the 15, and then I look at the hourly and I see, okay, well, we got a falling wedge here and it looks like we're heading for support. And that support is also in line with a bunch of key levels like this one right here. Okay, things are starting to add up. and that target becomes more and more like a magnet to me. So can you explain when to get in based on the candles, and why do you wait until the time ends? That's a really good question. So the reason that I wait for candles to close is, and again, time frames matter. So on the 5 minute, if I'm scalping, and I'm looking just for a key level break, like for example, on, I got to go back to Facebook because that's all I've traded. So on this, see right there. So with this candle, right, and Facebook was a little bit different here. After this gap fills, and this is actually a good example. I actually don't mind this one at all. So this purple box is the gap, right? Knowing gaps, right, we know that they can also provide fake out areas, or once they get filled, that you can completely dump from there. So for me, and we did add to Facebook, right? So the secondary candles where we added. So to add to Facebook, it is to wait for for me is to wait for a 5 minute candle close, especially because we're day trading. We're not paying attention to the hourly as it forms, because by the time that hourly is done, we were done trading, right? So I need that it's time relevance, because I have a shorter expiration contract. I'm looking at a shorter time frame, and I'm trading shorter targets. And so that being said, Facebook 5 minute close, still holding that gap, and most importantly, okay, this. So delete everything, right? This. That's what it held. So think of it like an auction. That's the best analogy that I can give you, is at an auction, right? You're going to have certain price levels called out, and you'll hear the crowd go silent and nobody else bids, or you hear everybody throwing their money at the auctioneer, right? So this 5 minute candle, for me, metaphorically speaking, if it closes above the level where buyers didn't like it before, right? And again, we have not just this. It's not just this key. It's not just this setup that we're playing, right? We're still playing that higher time frame setup where we know resistance is right here. So we know that the based on the fact that we were at support, that we were more than likely going to get a bounce. And so in order to confirm that bounce, I need to see that buyers are willing to hold the level that they were not willing to hold before. And one thing to keep in mind here, right? Jesus Christ, dude. How do you guys, can we get rid of this shit? Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. That shit is crazy, dude. They really think people are over here doing that right now? Yes, if you have any requests, you can drop those on Facebook or on YouTube. So anyway, all right. So we're entering here. We entered before the break, so we got an early entry. I liked the price action. I liked the fact that we bounced off the point of control. So at that point, volume's hot, good, not great, but good. We've gone for our 1, 2, and then 3, right? That's the magic number here. And from there, I'm aiming for my resistance. So for me, when that candle ends, it tells me that buyers were cool with that level and they want to buy more, right? That's not a level that they're worried about. It's likely one ahead of you. And so closing above that level to me confirms that buyers are happy with that level and willing to possibly push higher. So everything about the stock market is exploratory. Do you like this price? How about this price? What about this price? Do you like this price during this time? How about this time? Like, it is in my, and again, I think very metaphorically, you know, about the market in some ways, but it's a constant bid. You know, it's if the sentiment is high and the overall ETFs are moving to the upside, and you have a good bullish setup and you know where your resistance is, then obviously those are the things that you're going to be looking for confirmation in order to just take the trade. So, and then when to get in based on the candle. I mean, I guess that's something that I have to kind of show you while it's happening. I can say to you, yes, this candle is great. But on another stock, on another day, you could completely reverse and dump to the downside. And that's the thing, is every day is different. And every day, like this candle here, on a day where, you know, like say a different war started, or China attacked Taiwan, like, or I don't know, something crazy like that, like, you know, this candle wouldn't matter. Or just even if bad data comes out, you know, this candle could be a fake out and we could have dumped and just hellaciously fell to the downside. But can you rewind the trade in TradingView? Yes, you can. Potter had to take a look at it. Man, get out of here, you nut. All right. Everything looks red. Everything was red. All right, so I'm kind of done with this recap, guys. I feel like, and again, we're gonna trade it tomorrow, so you guys are more than welcome to hang out tomorrow morning. I'm gonna take a couple requests. I mostly just wanted to explain to you all, you know, my thought process on it, and again, if you're trying to pick a stock that runs with, that's either in the S&P, right? Which means that the S&P has to buy it. That's where their money's going. Okay, so big money's going there. Go with the stock that's going to move for you. Don't go with the stock that's going to move sometimes. DraftKings not a good stock. JMIA is not a good stock for new traders to trade. PLTR is not a good stock for new traders to trade. Johnson & Johnson, you know, United Hair, well, maybe, I don't know, swing traders might be able to get away with that. You know, like a lot of these lower, like where they only go through periods of like giant cycles, whereas a lot of stocks like Apple and Facebook and Microsoft and Tesla and Google, you know, even, I wouldn't even say, maybe Netflix. Netflix goes through periods of heavy chop, because there's a lot of indecision with that stock. So head for stocks that have conviction, not indecision. All right. So with all these weird things, can I chart NVIDIA? So NVIDIA was the first thing. Thank you guys. 10,000 likes on TikTok. I appreciate it. All right, so NVIDIA looks like ass. Excuse me, TikTok. NVIDIA looks terrible. Unless you're a bear, it looks really good. So let's zoom out, right? Because I was just saying the main points here are we are going to want to make sure that we are starting from a higher time frame and making our way down. So number one, again, I got this charted already. And what does this seem to look like? Looks a whole lot like Facebook. Looks a whole lot like it. And also, I see a couple of things that are going to make trading NVIDIA a little bit easier for anybody who's watching, okay? Because NVIDIA is another stock that has liquidity, but it also has some pretty sweet key levels. So let's take a look at those. Okay. So number one, we need to establish, and this pattern right here is a descending triangle based on what is happening right now. Any break up to the upside, any like up would probably have more of an inverse head and shoulders, which could lead NVIDIA to move to the upside. And I will say that Nvidia is going down for what looks to be its third tap of a 165, but could also be one of its final bounces if we do end up going into a bear rally. But if we are actually finishing a bear rally, then more than likely we would be heading up from here. But the key levels here for NVIDIA are 182.60, 182.50 to the downside. And that is clear as day. I mean, it's literally, again, you guys asked me, how do I find these levels? How do I know where support is? Let's find out. And I'm going to draw and highlight each one of them. So, and I'm not going to make it fancy. So 1, 2, 3, see through the noise, right? This one didn't even quite be able to make it up there. All of that selling pressure. 1, bounce. 2, bounce. 3, bounce. 4, bounce. So it would likely be below that level if you lose it, where buyers and sellers have taken their stand. That's where war is waged. That's where it's likely going to fall. Where's the first target? All right, well, fine. Where's the first target? I'll tell you exactly where I would target this thing. Right here, the gap. Just like we always do. The gap closes at 178.57. That's right there. So this is likely a NVIDIA head and shoulders on the hourly time frame. There's your shoulder, there's your head, and there is your shoulder. Can I be wrong? Could this be incorrect? 100%. But at the moment, it looks like it is about to, and again, I don't know what futures are looking like. I haven't checked yet. But we could see a gap down. If we gap down, that throws a wrench in everything. Because unfortunately, if we're going to keep moving down, I don't want to gap down. I'd rather gap up. So a small gap up would be preferable if we want to actually flush down, or just a flat open. But it would be the mark of 182. And I'm going to go ahead and just say 182 and 181.50 are where you could see, and most likely would see NVIDIA fall down through this gap. Now, if it closes, so this is where somebody asked me, why did that get so loud? Somebody asked me, where do you find, or where are you going to put your target, or where are you going to TP? What is that green and red? That is the whole ribbon indicator. Okay, so anyway, how do I pick those? How do I pick what? Um, Future certainly down a little bit. I'm not sure. So anyway, we were talking about how do we know whether we're going to see continuation of the downside. So right now, I'm looking at the hourly time frame. If we break 182 and 181.21 and hold a hourly candle below it, I can feel confident that we are going to continue to see downside. If we break 178.65, I'm fairly certain that that is a rejection off of the top and is to be respected, and likely we will see 166.27 somewhere in there on NVIDIA to the downside. So how do I pick those? What do you mean? How do I pick them? They're all at the same place. They're all closing and opening at the same place. Is there a way to join the Discord? Yeah. All right. I'm not doing a ton of charting today, guys. I'm gonna do a few more, and then it's 9:10 here, and this tree above me is starting to look. I don't know. The wind's kind of going a little ham, so I'm gonna shut down the computer here and go hop in the shower. No, I'm just kidding. Yo, what is this? You know what? You know who this guy is? This is the guy. So I got one of the scammers from TikTok to break character and like actually respond to me instead of scamming, and it was pretty funny. So I think this guy's actually really mad. Sorry, I have to remove these. Good gravy, dude. See you, Potter. See ya. I'm new to the channel. Do you make a lot of your money day trading? Yes. I'll be up early tomorrow, so that purple indicator on my chart. Wait, what? The gap indicator? No. Oh, I used to have a gap indicator. I don't have one anymore. A gap? Yeah, I don't know about that. So, but anyway, this one could be a good play to the downside. You could see of early entries on Nvidia below 185. Yeah, I would say below 185, early entries. Make sure you're long in expiration. You can scalp your way down and then wait for that break. Expect some consolidation, maybe even a retest of the same levels that you just dropped from. So, hold steadfast if you're in, and have a good solid stop loss. And then below that 181 level, you should flush. So, no, I don't use Keltner channels. I have, though, and yeah, it's just not for me. I should change my monthly fee to 69. We could do 420, 69. How about that? I'm just kidding. Um, Sorry, I'm just scrolling up really quick. Yeah, measurements. Yes, I do a lot of that by eye. Yes, though. AA actually. So this one I think is going to go short. I think anybody in small accounts, this one might be an interesting short trade. Look at this fucking chart, man. I don't know. That shit looks like it wants to dump ASAP. I wouldn't be surprised if you gap down to 61 and then just plummet down to 58.66. Watch Alacola down to 58, yeah, 58.66. That'd be nuts. Below 61.40. The heat map is from TradingView, so. Oh, I did, yeah. Yeah, this one should still go to the downside. All right, I'll do Apple really quickly. That's actually not good. Why does Apple looks like it wants to kind of rip to the upside? All right, so this is the only thing that makes me nervous about shorts is the fact that we have this kind of gnarly looking setup right now. So we do, and I think that we should go lower because even if it wasn't inverse head and shoulders, we liable to see further downside before that happens. But remember, see through the noise. So this looks identical to Tesla. It has a 15-minute wedge rising, Sagittarius moon rising. Sorry. Mm, kind of a sketchy trend line. Not sure exactly where that support level is. I have a feeling it's right around 147.12, but I would venture to guess that you should see Apple down to around 143.45 maybe to go fill this little fragment of a gap. So AMD short looks good. I'm sure it looks just like Nvidia. So yeah, BTU has a gap underneath it. Yeah, it looks like you might end up going and filling that gap here, but you're also kind of on that head and shoulders territory. So I would say if you're bullish, stay above stay above 26 candle close on the daily 4 hour. But if you're bullish, you have that rounded bottom here. So you could end up seeing this thing back up at 33.19 pretty easily. Do I think Tesla will have one of those $80, $100 gain days soon? Uh, no. Maybe. I mean, if it goes for this gap right here all at once, I mean that's a not $100 gap, but it's a big. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I just got hit with I ate a big dinner, so I just got hit with a wave of sleepies. But I also just got to get to bed really quickly. I got a lot of stuff to do, get ready for this weekend. So, um, sorry, I'm getting text messages on my other phone like crazy. But anyway, I will be live tomorrow morning, bright and early. So if you guys want to hop on TikTok or Discord, those will be first. I'm gonna try and be on around 7:30 somewhere in there. So, but anyway, is that FinViz? No, I don't use that. Hopefully you guys made money with me today, guys. I have literally, again, execution wise, been destroying Facebook. I'm sure Mark literally feels my presence. So, yeah, we're hopefully going to be able to do it again. Facebook's the only thing on the watch list for tomorrow. Got Nvidia on the backup, Tesla on the backup, but mostly again focused on Facebook and see if we can pull off another hat trick. So. Yeah, I'm tired. All right, guys. Peace out. Yeah, I'll try not to.